President of Uruguay, Your Excellencies, it is no conventional formality to express to you, Mr. President, my profound pleasure at being here in Punta del Este, in the charming, hospitable, and democratic country of Uruguay, where I and my entire delegation have been showered with courtesies and kindness. May I also thank you and the other presidents who were good enough to make specific reference to my country's presence in your midst. Mr. President, this gathering of chiefs of state of the countries of the inter-American system is of manifest importance to each and every one of these countries. But may I say that it has a special significance for my own small country. Less than 2 months ago in Buenos Aires, our application for admission into the Organization of American States was generously and warmly accepted unanimously by our colleagues around this table. 3 weeks later, we complied with the necessary formalities to complete our entry into the distinguished family of American nations. Last week, we signed in Rio de Janeiro the Inter-American Treaty of Reciprocal Assistance. Today, as the culmination of these momentous events in our history, we have the privilege and pleasure of participating in a meeting which our people, as indeed do all the peoples of the hemisphere, prayerfully hope and trust will lay the foundation and chart the future of a more secure, more prosperous, more vigorous, more united continent of America. Mr. President, if there is one fact of which technological advances of today keep steadily reminding us, it is that wherever we are on this planet, we are neighbors of one another. We appreciate this as well as anyone else. 1 million people cannot possibly hope to live in isolation. Whatever happens anywhere is of relevance to all men everywhere. But if this be true of our world, how much more true is it of our countries of the Americas?
And finally, I shall urge funds be provided to help establish the Alliance for Progress Centers at colleges and universities in the United States. Our partnership must be based on the respect for our various cultures and civilizations. And respect is built upon knowledge. And this new education program will offer new opportunities for students and educators of your country and of my country to understand each other and to work closer together. Our discussions here are couched in the technical terms of trade and development policies. But beyond these impersonal terms stand the reality of individual men and women and children. And it is for them, and not for the statisticians and economists, that we have come here to plan and to dream and to work. It is for them, and especially for the young among them, that the hope and the challenge of this alliance exists. For them, we must move forward from this hour. And each of us present should engage in some introspection and ask ourselves, what are we ourselves doing to build more schools and more hospitals and more roads? What are we doing to produce more food and to take the steps necessary on our own initiative to see that this job is done? What are we ourselves doing to develop more trade? To take on the hard problems in our own countries of tax reform and of land reform, of creating new jobs and new economic opportunities for our own people whom we presume to lead, of cleaning out the red tape and acting with a sense of urgency that our times require. I pledge to you today that I will do all that I can in my time of leadership to help you.
The President of the United States is now recognized.
Our delegation, gratitude to you for the courtesy and generosity that your country has offered her sister nations at this conference. We have come to Punta del Este as the leaders of 20 governments and as the trustees for more than 400 million human beings. We meet in a city where 5.5 years ago an alliance was formed, a pledge was made, and a dream begun. Now, we must measure the progress we have made. We must name the barriers that still stand between us and the fulfillment of our dream. Then, we must put in motion plans that will set us firmly on the way toward the proud destiny that is our people's right. We meet as friends and as neighbors and as allies. Hundreds of years ago, we were the New World. Now each of us faces the problem of growing maturity, of industrialization, of rapid urban growth, of sharing the opportunities of life among our people. We no longer inhabit a new world. We cannot escape from our problems as the first Americans could, in the vastness of an uncharted hemisphere. If we are to grow and prosper, we must face the problems of our maturity, and we must do it both boldly and wisely, and we must face them now. If we do, we can create a new America, where the best in man may flourish in freedom and in dignity. If we neglect the planning, if we ignore the commitments that it requires, if our rhetoric is not followed by action, we shall fail not only the Americans of this generation, but hundreds of millions to come. In unity, and only in unity, is our strength. The barriers that deny the